Okay, welcome back. So we've got quite a track going on here. So I'm really liking how the direction this track is going, and some of the things that we've kind of explored while making this track. Um, Now what I'd like to do is we're going to come up here. So where it says trap soul vocal, you're going to click on that one. It's going to highlight that. What we're going to do is we're going to come back to probably the first version of what that is, which again it says mute right there. So when you add another track, that track will be muted as well, and that we've learned. um, so kind of where we're at with the Ranger 2 is so how it lays out is it lays out where we've got our plug-in instrument first. It's got that audio track second. So we really don't need that audio track. We're not going to be doing an audio track. So it's got a little pencil icon right there, um, and it says delete track. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to delete that track. Um, the hybrid track, Almighty. We'll come back to maybe putting a plug-in track. We'll see where this kind of goes. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and delete that track too. So what that leaves us with is it leaves us with just plain drum tracks. So those plain drum tracks are going to be what our main beat is. So we've got all of our vocals, we've got everything else from there. So right now none of them are named. You can see what's highlighted and unhighlighted. We can spend a whole video just kind of going through and doing that, which might be a good time to to go ahead and maybe start doing that as well. So go back into the Ranger. Um, so this is basically pulling up every single drum track that we have so far. So it's got it's got a lot of them. You can see they're different colors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double tap on there. So this is our main kick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say kick, which it's easier to see if you go caps on everything. Kick. Do it. Okay, so then list it right there. Then if we scroll down, I'm sorry, if we scroll down, it's going to go down to the colors. See, touch buttons, they move away. Fuchsia. So I want to change that to, let's go with, these are all of your colors that you have, right here. So I'm going to put my kick on fire. And I'm going to close. Wow, looky there. You are now a different color. And it is named. So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to put pad 2. There's 2. So do it. Okay. Let's go in here. Let's change this. So we'll go to orange. I'm just going to go down the list here. So we're going to change a few colors. So pad. Pad 3. Do it. And you can obviously name them whatever you want to name your stuff, because it's going to make sense to you how you name your stuff. So yeah, so just go through and basically that's all I'm going to do here is just kind of go through and name each one. So this is super exciting, I know. And you can continue on and on and on until you get down to your vocal chops that are on there. So what's kind of cool about this is not only is it going to to name it, to give it your pad and do the color. So when you go over here into your mixer, it's just going to correspond those same colors in there as well. So then you have everything color coded on your mixer page too. So that right there is something that took me a long time. I had to ask a lot of questions to be able to figure out how to rename things, to be able to color code them, just simple stuff that people go by and they go through it so fast, which I know I just did as well. So but again, all I'm doing is I'm just double clicking on there. I'm going up to the top, I'm renaming it to what I want to name it. And then I'm going down and I'm changing the color to whatever color that I want to go. So again, I was starting off at the top, so I'm just following along what is recommended, but again, you can choose whatever color that you want to choose for that. So again, click on there. I have to erase this one. Pad. What did I do? 6. And then color. And I should have had the whole backbeat going this whole time that we were doing this, but I didn't. So yeah. So again, you can see that all that is going. So let's go ahead and play. What we've got here. Let's do something something like that. So that's a much more pleasant atmosphere to come and do your naming. And if it clicks on something, then just click on the page and it'll take you back to to where you're going on there. So so I'm liking the colors already on all this stuff. So this one's going to be our main vocal sample. So I'm going to just name this one vocal. And then let's see. So we got Canary Alice, Chartreuse, Neon, Lime. So let's go down. I want to go more like sky for that one. Perfect. So this one, again, is a vocal chop. So I'm just going to name it that. Okay, good deal. So now that we've got everything, all, in there, we can see, all the colors, that, are with that. So then come back in, we can start adding some other stuff back into the song and, keep moving forward. Okay, so we're going to come back and we're going to go back to our kit right here, and we're going to add another track. Okay, so now, kind of what we've got is we've got, her sample, coming in right here, and then we've also got the bass line. So let's try the bass line and see, what that does to, to add to this track. Okay, so there's the bass line. Sounds pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add another track, right here, and then we're going to add her vocal in. So maybe I might change her sample just a little bit. So, I was talking, earlier about, being able to change the tone of it. So we're going to come down a half and see what that sounds like. Let's see what a full. So I actually like that a little bit better. I like it, just down another octave. Okay, so let's go back and let's record that. That recorded something totally different on that, sorry. So let's go back in here, let's erase that. Hey guys, welcome back. So the Tascam Porta Capture, one of the things I've been struggling with since I've got it is USB mismatch. So I've tried a ton of different cables, to try to figure it out, but every once in a while, and it's already done it on this series once, it'll pop up a little screen on it that says USB mismatch. And at that point in time, then it stops recording audio, and it's just like, oh my goodness sakes. So I'm not sure where we left off with, but what we were talking about, another one was we were on their Ranger page, and we were going through and we were naming and changing the colors of each one of our tracks. So what you should, what it should look like is each one of the tracks should be, different colored, and they should have names attached to them. So how we did that was we went to the main page, we went over here to this icon for the Ranger, we came in and we double tapped that, which then brought up the track settings, and we were able to change the name. So we changed the name, Vocal Chop, And then what we did was we came down here to where the color was, clicked on the color, and we scrolled down and we picked the color to choose, for that. So that gave us all of this that we were coming on with. So then we went back and we created another drum track to start adding, different, some additional, things to what we had going on. So, so let's see where we're at. So back over here on our track mute. So it looks like we still got, just our vocal chops, right there. So we've got, the kick on kick one, where we changed vocal samples. So let's go back here. So we're going to click on this one right here, and we're going to go down to this kick one. So on this kick one, we came over here to the sample edit, and we took it down a whole octave. So that took it down from sounding more feminine to more male, on there. So then I'm going to come to my grid, right here, and it's going to have that, chop, on it. So how we get to there is we go to the magnifier icon, and it comes over, and it actually hasn't even played that sample yet. So what we're going to do, so this is kind of where I had gotten to in the previous, before I realized that it had cut off. So we come up here to this pencil icon, and we're going to give it the pencil icon, and we're going to come to the middle of the beat. So that's, track, 8 right there, and I'm going to put a pencil mark right there. So the next time that it scrolls back around, it is going to give me that sample. So all it did was just give us that little, sample. Okay, very cool. So then, come back over to my track mutes. I'm going to go ahead and bring the vocal sample back in at the end of this, so then we can kind of see where we're at with the vocal sample and the whole track, and see what we can start doing. Okay, so that sounds like, it's a lot, going on. So we'll take that, back off right there. And then we have our middle sample, that's going to be the broken up one. Okay, so what I like to do at this point then is, mute everything at that point. And, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in individual ones and see, how I want to move forward with it, or if I don't want to move forward with, a certain sample, that's okay too. You can go back in and recreate, any number of things to make this track be what you want it to be. So, so right now, I'm just going to go ahead and press play start, and nothing is going to happen. So what I'm doing is I'm just following this little red line, right here, to tell me, when, I want to come in on something. So let's do, maybe we want to start our song off with this. So this is a really good one to, to kind of, get you moving into the right direction. So I like how that one sounds right there. Okay, now this is going to go into something that's maybe a little bit more it's going to take you a few times to to figure out, but I'm going to try to do it as simply as I possibly can. Okay, so here we go again. So now we're going to try to start building a track. So I like to come over here to the track mutes and mute everything to start. Once I kind of figure out how I want a track to lay out, then we go in and we start putting it into sequences. So from your track mute page, right here, we're going to go back to the main. So you can see kind of a pattern here. You're going track mute main, you're going to the ranger, then you're going back to the grid, and then you're going back to main. So you're kind of going right around in circles here to get back and forth to to different things. So how we're going to do a sequence is we're going to go ahead and play to start to see see where we're at. So real pleasant, real nice, love, this, how it's coming out. So right up here is a pencil icon next to sequence 1. So we'll click on that pencil icon. We're going to copy sequence. So we're going to copy sequence 1. So this is going to be sequence 2. And we're going to copy this to sequence right there. So do it. Okay. So now we've got a brand new sequence, sequence 2. So when we come back over to our track mutes, and then we can start, bringing in, additional things. So again, we're going to come up here, we're going to copy sequence, we're going to do sequence 3 unused, do it, okay, very cool. So then we go back over here to track beats, and we're going to bring in the bells and the drums. So back up to the pencil icon, or copy sequence. Sequence 4 unused. Sequence 3. That to sequence 4. Do it. And again, you guys can change whatever, name them whatever you want to change them to, but for the sake of this, that's what I'm doing on there. So now we've got 4 sequences. Okay. So let's say want to bring in these 2 right here. Sequence. So we're going to go to number 5. In sequence, we're going to change this to number 5. Do it. Do it. Okay, so now we've got 5 sequences. We're going to go back up here to track beats. And maybe let's go, baseline. kind of see exactly doing the same thing. So 6 sequences. Track view. And then we're going to bring in vocals. Copy sequence. Change the name. Do it. Okay, so now you've got the essence of a song going. Okay, so now you've got all these sequences. So you're like, okay, well, what do I do with the sequences? You go to the menu page. The menu page is going to take you to this little sign icon or song icon. It's a note, and you just press on that note right there. So then that brings you to this page right here. So what this page is basically how you can create a track. So what I like to do is we've got all of our sequences here lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what happens if we press the overdub button right there. So I'm going to go ahead and press the record overdub button. Once I've done that, then I'm going to click on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to come back to 1. And then I'm going to press the stop button. And what that's going to do is it's going to build a song. So what I want to do is I want to convert that into a sequence. So this is where we haven't kind of talked about what a sequence, because we're at 8 bars so far. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the 8 times 8, 64, 8, 16, 32, 64, 74, 80. So it's going to make it 80 bars. So convert sequence here, doing math, and include muted tracks, do it. And what it's done now is it's created a whole nother sequence from song. So all I did was I went up here to the sequence and I scrolled over to where it said converted it. So now what I can do is I can go to the arranger page.